So I'm from a lower middle class family. We don't come from a lot of money. When I was born, I was actually brought back home to my parents' trailer. And the subsequent months, we actually accepted help from the Salvation Army. I mean, I don't think that everyone else here is probably from the exact same general financial area that I came from. And I am a lot better off now. But I think that the majority of us are probably middle class, which is about where we're coming from. Now, the middle class has a huge issue with investing in our retirement. A lot of us don't do it, and the fact of the matter is, if you don't start early, it won't matter. So today I'd like to persuade you, or advise you guys to start saving today. Today, I mean like tomorrow. You want to come and talk to me after this, let's get you started. First, I'd like to talk to you about college students, the rate of investing, why they don't invest, and as well as if there might be some kinds of exceptions to this. Second, I do want to talk to you guys about not the benefits, but the counterproductiveness of not saving. Like my parents didn't save. They didn't save at all because of the situation that we were in, and there are a lot of effects that come from that. And lastly, I do want to talk about figures. I forget one of the main points. My investment. I have a few separate investment accounts right now, but one that I set up specifically for my kids' future. Now, I don't have a kid, I don't have any, but I probably will, because I want to be able to pay for their college. So, as I said, first, you probably need to think about investment. When you think about investment, not too many people really understand. College students don't. The University of San Diego did University of California, San Diego, did a study with some of their students and found that about 90% of college students didn't understand compound interest. Compound interest is extremely complex. If I were to write down the equation, it would probably be about that long in my small writing. But really what it means is all of the interest that you gain on something is added to the total value, and the interest continues to add and it will gain interest itself. So 90% of the students that were tested didn't correctly know how to calculate compound interest. So the example they used was about a $200 a month investment for 40 years. And if you add it all up, it's not much more than, I think, $150,000. That's all the money that you would put away. And they used a 10% interest rate, excuse me. So a 10% interest rate on $200 a month. A lot of the students actually thought that after the 40 years, they would have about $200,000, which is still more than they would have put away over the course of the time. But in fact, the reality is they would have over $1,200,000. So 90% of students don't really know where all that $1 million extra is coming from, and that's huge. It's scary. That's $1 million you can have when you retire. There are some exceptions to the rules. College students, the Journal of American Business Education did a study to see which students had better knowledge of investing. And students, it's not actually just the students who do financial kinds of majors. It's any student that has critical thinking style classes. Classes kind of like this one, or philosophy or the like. So I'm going to move on from there, and I'm going to talk about the pain that comes from not investing. Like I said, my parents didn't invest at all. Now of course they were able to bring us up from the whole trailer situation, and we moved forward as a family, but there are a lot of things that are going to affect them as well as me. And because they didn't invest even $10 a month, and they have nothing, which probably $10 a month would come out to about $200,000 at the end of 40 years. That burden is going to fall on myself and my brother. And I'm sure we're going to do perfectly fine. We're going to take care of them. And not to say that they're a burden, because I love them and I would do anything to take care of them. I would sacrifice very much for them, and that's just as they have me. But that money that we are going to put towards them could be going towards my own retirement at that time, which will be in about 10 years where I'm going to start putting that money towards them. Or it could go towards my kids' retirements. And one thing that I really want to do is bridge that gap that's been having, my parents, they didn't have a retirement. Their parents' didn't have a retirement. And that goes on and on. What time does it stop? And so it's up to myself and my brother to create our own retirement funds and take care of our parents and create funds for our kids. A study done by the Journal of Financial Planning shows that parents themselves, older generations, they don't know where to take the money for their kids' schools, and they will actually take from their retirement funds. And believe it or not, it's more beneficial as a parent to take out loans and pay for school than it would be to take from your retirement, which is already that money's already there. Because the loans you get for college loans have a lower interest rate than your returns from your retirement. So you would actually hurt yourself a lot more. And about 50% of all American adults are slated to not actually meet their own goals for retirement and be able to live off and maintain their level of standard of living. I am running a little bit short on time, so I'm going to skip on the my own investments. But I do want to call specifically out to the women here. It's really important. A lot of the men aren't saving for their retirement, but it means a lot more that you guys actually do, because there is a gender gap when it comes to pay. The amount that you guys put in is different, because majority of the time when you save for your retirement, it's a percentage thing. And so Equibytes shows that even if the difference is 9%, which we know is it's actually more than that, if you were to save the same amount as a man for your retirement in 40 years, you would actually have to work 41 years to save as much as they did. And that's just to catch up. So definitely women, make sure that you start investing now. So we now know that investing is key, it's huge. If you don't, you might die without any money. You might end up having to put that burden on your children, which I'm sure you don't want to do. We know that in your older age, affecting your investments with your own children is detrimental, and women, it's really, really important that you guys get started on that. So as I leave you, I do want to let you guys know I have a little bit of information. I'm not an accountant, I can't help you with this. If you guys have any wants or desires to learn more or get started on something small like what I have three different accounts. You can come and meet with me and we'll talk about it. I'd love to help you guys start, because every day you wait, even with $1,000 now, will be $200,000 in 4 years. Thank you.
So Eduardo, what did you think?
I thought his experience was good. Your thesis was clear, and your advice for investing in retirement was really persuasive. I like your gestures too, and this topic really pertains to the audience. I saw you went back on your notes a little, but I don't think that's an issue. You explained very important vocabulary words that most people don't like, compound interest. And I really like your evidence to support your claims. Your volume was consistent to the topic.
Thank you.
All right, well, I like the dramatic personal story that you have at the beginning. I think you kind of give yourself some credibility and put yourself in a position where people are more likely to listen to you. You've got a good goal that you've stated at the beginning. The preview is satisfactory, although the pacing of the presentation I think is problematic. I think you need a little bit more energy. It's like you're thinking about it out loud in front of the audience instead of, I've already thought about this and here's what it is that I want you to do. And so I think because it feels a little lethargic, it lacks the kind of dynamic relationship that you could be having with the audience, and that is problematic. You've got the notes on the side. You have to keep turning over there to the side to look at them. It's probably better if you put them on the cards and just have them in your hand. The big pages, I hate that at this point in the term. I mean, let's face it, you guys, that should have been something that you were done with after the very first speaking assignment. I should never see a page in people's hands again after that first presentation, and there they are, sitting there on the table waiting for you to look at them, and I think that becomes a distraction to you.
I just underlined the sources because I kept reading names.
Yeah, you like I said, put it on the cards. That's even though I told people not to have cards in their hands, I think it would be better than what you did in this particular situation. You get a little bit caught up in trying to describe the study that explains compound interest and how students don't know much about it, instead of explaining what compound interest is and showing us what the advantage would be. I thought that was a little bit confusing. Usually I think you're a pretty dynamic speaker, but I didn't think that it came across very dynamic in this presentation. All right, thank you.